Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is...
Hey-oh! Oh, man, I'm here. I made it.
I was so terrified of what was about to happen. I could see that you weren't in the screen. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But here we are. TFA fam, welcome in. It is week 7 prop talk. After taking a little hiatus from the show last week, we are back this week. We are live in living color. We're in your living rooms. We're here. It's happening. If there is ever a case where we are not live, you can always get our picks on Twitter or in our Discord. So you can follow Tom at Dynasty Infidel. You can follow myself at CKutzerFF. You can pull the video description down, and there is a link for the Discord there as well. So we will never leave you high and dry. Tom wasn't feeling well. His tummy hurt. He had some little digestive issues going on, but we're past that.
It's called I can't eat. Hey, you ever need to go on a diet? Just don't eat for 2 days and you can lose 8 pounds. It's really simple, man.
I don't understand why we have such an obesity problem.
All right. Just don't eat, man. It's easy.
Before this gets out of control, let's try and wrangle this in. Tom, lead us off. What is the first prop? I know there's a lot that you like. Give me the first one that you like for week 7.
First of all, humble brag for the prop talk show the last 2 weeks, by the way. You, sir, fuck yeah, America, dude. That's what I'm talking about. We're making some money the last couple of weeks, so we're gonna keep this shit going, even though it's by Mageddon or by Apocalypse, whatever. I don't understand. I still see a million things that I want to take. First
it's about
one
to be a prop-pocalypse.
We're going Propolis? What is that, Greek? Papanopoulos.
It's actually Latin origins. Means whale's vagina.
Ooh, nice. Speaking of whale's vagina, Kyle Pitts over 47.5 this week. He's covered that number 3 times this year, three out of the last 4 weeks so far. They opened things up for him 2 weeks ago against the Jets. He responded by going 9 for 19. That was nice. That showcase without Calvin Ridley is going to give Matt Ryan some more confidence throwing to him and also allow first-time Falcons offensive coordinator Dave Ragone to call some more plays where Pitts is the primary target. Matchup isn't bad. If you look at the tight end numbers, it says it's not great. Miami's right in the middle as far as yards allowed at tight end position. Darren Waller put up 54 against them, but let's be honest, he's not really a tight end. He's a wide receiver, lines up in the slot or out wide 63.6% of the time. Miami's allowed the 3rd most yards to wide receivers in the league. So, hey-o, I expect Kyle Pitts to put up the most yards out of all the tight ends that have played against the Dolphins so far. Coming off the bye last week, I think we see them opening things up for Kyle Pitts, and let's go.
Yeah, I like that one as well. That was one I looked at. While Lito is with you, he has that one as well. And we got that $5 holla from our guy up north as well. Many, many good props this week. You're goddamn right, Walito. We are doing it. Tom, I'm actually going to stay in that same game.
Ooh.
At the same position on the other side of the ball. Give me Penn State great Mike Gesicki over 40.5 receiving yards. You kind of touched on the same thing on the other side with the matchup against Miami. Atlanta looks pretty solid in terms of their yards allowed to tight ends, but if you go and check who they've played, it's been a wasteland outside of the first 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks, Ertz and Goddard both went over 34. Obviously, Gesicki isn't going to be splitting, all the touches of production with anybody. Week 2, Gronk hit them for 39 yards and 2 scores. And then after that, they faced Evan Ingram coming into his first game of the season. Ricky Seals-Jones, Ryan Griffin, and Dan Arnold. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing they've shut down all those tight ends. Hey, hats off to them. Real recognize real, game recognize game here. After Gesicki only saw 3 targets week 1, he has gone over 40 yards in every single game since. And since we have, some poor defenses on both sides of the ball, I think we could see a little bit back and forth here. So I like Gesicki over 40.5.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I think you may have just talked me into taking Mike Gesicki to score a touchdown.
Ooh.
Fancy pants, you. Look at you and your math and your numbers. Speaking of math and numbers, DeAndre Hopkins, mathematician, 71.5 yards. It's up from 69.5. So people are moving that line. Amazingly, he's only covered that number 2 times so far this year. Crazy. I'm going to say he balls out this week. He's going to be playing against his former team, the Texans, for the first time. So I have a feeling he's going to be amped. Houston has allowed the 21st most yards to wide receivers so far, and 3 of those teams had byes last week. Come on, bruh. So yeah, Houston has also allowed 6 wide receivers to go above 70 yards. And I really like this. I think Arizona might actually have 2 wide receivers top that number this week. I don't know which other one it's going to be, but I think you're going to see some big plays in here. And I think Hop is going to wind up leading the receiving core, and he's going to have himself a monster.
Yeah, I like that. And if you're watching this live, we are going to be releasing a show for Thrive Fantasy, which if you enjoy props, which obviously you do because you're watching this video, check out Thrive Fantasy. It's DFS but with props. So you're doing a bunch of over-unders and that sort of thing. It's a lot of fun over there. A couple questions I just want to hit on real quick. Rifty needs 2 here: Pittman, Hollywood, or Shepard. I'm going with the first 2, but I do like Shepard just based on the amount of volume he's going to see. But give me Pittman and Hollywood.
Yeah, we're on the same page there.
J2 Nice wants to know, should he start Gibson if Gibson is in? The only other option is Elijah Mitchell. So are you going to trust Gibson with this injury, or are you going to go with Eli?
I honestly don't know, to tell you the truth. I want to say Gibson, but he could give you an absolute dud because he can get hurt. So Mitchell is the safer one. So I would look at your lineup. If you're projected to win, then I would take Mitchell. If you're projected to lose, the upside might be with Gibson. I think Mitchell's the safer bet, though.
It's a travesty that this is like, that we're not laughing at Jay. You're like, oh, come on, man, are you serious? But it's upsetting. I wish they would just shut him down. Just shut him down. Like what? Like what are they? Why are we doing this?
I don't understand. I remember in a redraft league, I was upset that Gibson fell where he fell to like 19 or something, and I had to take Joe Mixon. Thanks, guy. Gibson went 1 pick ahead of me, and I was like heartbroken. Well, my other boy JoJo, he knows what's up.
JoJo,
it's your turn.
This boy. Yeah, Jay. If you need safety, I think I am going Mitchell on that one. Walito is spamming the chat with all of his picks. Walito, I promise we'll get to you this week. I won't push you off to the side. I'm not going to do that to you, buddy. My second one, surprised you're not going with this one, Tom, because this has been one of your guys, I think, the entire season. But DJ Moore over 78.5. Started off the year on fire, right? He hit this line in 4 straight games. Sam Darnold has kind of shit the bed the past 2 games. So DJ Moore as well has had some disappointing performances in the last 2 games as well. In comes the New York Giants to make everything right. I think this sets up as a really nice bounce back spot for the entire offense as a whole. And then by default, that's going to benefit DJ Moore as well. The Giants are 22nd in pass DVOA. They've given up the 14th most yards to receivers, the 10th most receptions, and the 10th most yards after catch, which plays perfectly to DJ Moore's strengths, as he's 4th in the league in that category. So I do like DJ Moore and everybody to bounce back in this game. 78.5.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot to add to that, because you're right.
Thanks, man.
I mean, yeah. So pretty much. Next pick for me, Davante Adams over 7.5 receptions. Cody, have you ever been really tired and there was just a chair sitting there and you sat in it and it was the most comfortable chair in the world?
I have, yeah.
That's the Washington football team's secondary. Like, that's what this matchup is. Like, Davante Adams comes in, he's like, he's going to go fucking nuts, Cody. plush matchup. Washington's allowed the second most yards to receivers, the most receptions. Needless to say, if you prefer the yardage, fine by me. That's at 95.5, I think. Make it 120. Whatever. Over.
Try me.
Yeah, I'll probably be same game parlaying that, but because I expect a monster out of him. That being said, I feel like the receptions are safer, and at minus 130, Vegas agrees. 5 receivers have had 8 or more receptions against them so far. I can't even say without laughing. With Davante he's averaging 11 targets a game for the year and 15 a week for the last 3.
Bonkers.
I mean, that's just stupid. Another Adams bet. I have been absolutely on fire with the longest reception bets. Davante Adams over 27.5 yards for everything I just said above. And Cody has some awesome stats with Davante Adams as far as hitting the deep ball this week. Hit it, Cody.
All right. Before this one goes too far down the rabbit hole, Washington, we know, absolutely booty on defense. You were talking about the deep receptions. Washington has allowed the 5th highest average depth of target defensively. Like we always talk about A-dot when we're talking about receivers and tight ends. But on the defensive side of the ball, Washington is allowing the 5th highest. Adams is second amongst receivers in air yards. He's first in completed air yards. And I don't even know how this is like mathematically possible, but he's also 9th in incomplete air yards. So second in air yards, just total air yards among receivers, first in completed air yards, and 9th in incomplete air yards. So Adams, everything on the over this week. Yards, receptions, longest catch. I do think this could be one of those like 10 for 13 for $170 and 2 out of Adams, and now he is going to go for 4 and 28.
Yeah, don't say that. It's not gonna. It's mathematically impossible, because if his catch rate is at 50%, he'll probably be close to 7.
Yeah,
put it that way. That's quick math. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5, guys. I know he can't actually have a 7 or a half a catch, but that's your math.
Does a one-handed catch count as a half a catch?
It counts as 2. So,
okay.
One hand, 2 catches. Never mind.
I guess I'm up now. For my last one, this line just really doesn't make sense to me. And I'm going with A.J. Brown over 60.5 receiving yards. I really don't have anything to say other than the Chiefs defense literally can't stop anybody defensively, no matter what the position is. We have an over-under in this game that is damn near 60. It opened at 56.5. It's been bet up to 57.5. And the Titans have an implied point total of 26.5. So I like Derrick Henry in this game as well to go over his yards. I like Kelsey in this game, yards, and I like the receptions better. The yards are fine. They're like 83.5. But Kelsey's catches are only at 6.5. I like that over as well. But A.J. Brown at 60.5 just feels way too low to me. And it's not like Tannehill. I know the Titans passing offense has been struggling. Tannehill's been struggling a little bit. But he doesn't even have to have a monster game for A.J. Brown to get over 60.5. So this is probably going to be the prop that I put the most on this weekend.
Okay. All right. So I'm scared that he, is going to go eat at a restaurant and throw up. That's about it.
I mean, even if he does,
he's going to get
he's going to shit on them. He's going to shit on them figuratively and literally in this game.
Yeah. This is a fun same game parlay one. Walito hit on this one, Tyreek over 85.5. As long as that groin holds up, the Titans have allowed the most receiving yards in the league to wide receivers, so I like that. And it's Tyreek. Come on, that's my boo. All right, we've done 3 apiece. I've got 43 more props for you. I hope you're all ready. Walito, also, you're talking about no AB, no Gronk. Evans score a touchdown maybe. Anytime? Who knows? Probably. But I'm going to go with yardage here. And I really couldn't pick one. Chris Godwin is at 71.5 yards. He was at 62.5 yards until AB was ruled out. Evans is at 67.5, and he was at 61.5. Heartbroken. I saw the lines while I was at work and couldn't place the bets. So they've all moved up since AB was ruled out. 69.5, blah, blah, blah. It was up to 69.5 too, so that's already moved for Godwin. So it was 69.5 and now up to 71.5. So that's getting bet up a lot.
Yeah.
They're playing a Bears team that got lit up by Cooper Kupp in week 1, Davante Adams last week. They've had 6 wide receivers, top 73 yards against them so far. Antonio was like that top target the last 3 weeks, and that doesn't matter anymore. So they're going to be redistributed, obviously, because he's out. So I don't know who it's going to be between Godwin and Evans. I'm going to take both. In week 3, when AB was out, both wide receivers top 74 yards. Evans had 10 targets. Godwin had 7. Evans is top 75 yards 4 out of the last 5 weeks, 4 out of 6 overall. Godwin has topped 71 yards only twice. But again, one of them was with AB out, so that looks good for him. One of them is going to pop off much more than the other one. I don't know who. It's a hedge, but I think it's a 70-30 chance they both cover. And you're not going to lose both. So look at it that way. You're definitely not going to lose both. I believe they're both at minus 115, or they're both at the same amount. So take both and then go for there. You can do a parlay if you want. I'm going to go with the safety of just doing them separately, and then I might do a parlay a little bit later. Code, you got anything for that?
No, I was just going to add on that one. I like Evans' receptions as well. They're only sitting at 4.5. I think that's minus 130 on DraftKings, but Evans touchdown, Godwin touchdown. I like all that as well, because even though Fournette has been playing really well, like they're still just letting Brady drop back and throw it 35, 40 times a game. So, and no AB, that makes it all the easier to hit both those guys.
Yeah. One more I have. Jamar Chase, longest reception, over 26.5 yards. He has topped that every single fucking week. Every single week. I'm at a loss. Like, ride the hot hand. These are his longest catches every week. And it doesn't mean he didn't have another one, because he's had multiple games with catches over this yards. Week 1, 50, then 42, then 34, then 44, then 70, then 53. Cody, what the fuck, man? That's bonkers.
But dude, he did you hear that he dropped the ball in the preseason?
I've heard that, and then I heard it doesn't matter. So Jamar Chase has won me quite a bit of money so far. So we're just going to keep that rolling. I did the same thing with Hollywood until he didn't, and DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley last year, ride the hot hand. But right now, I mean, just have at it with him.
Yeah, and the Ravens,
yeah,
right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ravens have allowed 24 receptions of 20 plus yards. So, and then they've also allowed 4 of 40 plus, and the longest they've given up has been 76 yards. So, yeah, I know they just shut down the Chargers, but I think it was kind of a one-off game. You have that West Coast team traveling and everything.
Yeah.
And obviously the Ravens are going to push the Bengals. The issue with the Bengals offense this year, just as a whole, has been Burrow's only had over 30 pass attempts in, I think, 1 or 2 games, which is the absolute opposite of what we were expecting coming into this year. And they're also not running plays at a high pace, which is what they were doing the previous 2 years. But I still like the Ravens to push them, and I do like Chase in this game as well. And I think I can't remember the slot numbers off the top of my head, but Tyler Boyd's over-under is at 40.5. So I think you can look at Boyd to he doesn't even have to have a crazy game. You know what I mean? He could have 4 catches and hit the over on that. So Boyd's another one that I like.
Yeah, in that same game, Mixon is another one. Walito liked him over his rushing yards, I believe. Yep.
59.5. Yep.
Right. I also like the combined yardage, rushing and receiving. He's covered that 3 out of 6 weeks. Ravens allow the 8th most points or fantasy points to running backs. So while they're stingy against the run, there's yards to be had through the air there. That being said, I don't feel totally comfortable taking that receiving yards prop at 15.5 yards because Chris Evans was a little bit more involved than I would have liked last week, but it doesn't really matter. But you never know what Mixon is going to pop off at, if it's going to be a screen or if it's going to be a run. So that's why I think the combined yardage is the safer thing. Taking away that Packers game because he was clearly limited due to injury. He's averaged just shy of 23 touches a game, which is exactly what we want out of Joe Mixon. So Bengals know what, open things up down the field for guys like Jamar Chase. Unlike the stupid fucking Eagles who don't run the ball more than 4 times in a half. They have a rule about it. I've seen it. It's in the building. And Mixon's keeping the defenses honest. So I like Mixon to cover that for the 4th time this season against the Ravens this weekend. You got anything else? I still got more, man. I got more.
Hey, keep going, and I'll chime in at the end.
All right, last one. These are ones that – so the Mixon one and the Patterson one, I like them. I am not putting a shit ton of money on them, put it that way. Cordarelle Patterson, 79.5 total yards. He's beaten that number the last 3 games after they started using him more. He might be at 80.5 now. But he's matching up against Miami defense that's given up the 3rd most yards to running backs, 6th most yards to wide receivers. What's Cordarelle Patterson? I don't know, but those both line up pretty well for me. So I'll put some shekels on Mr. Patterson there.
CPAT. Who would have thought?
I know, right? I guess I'm done. I guess.
I'll just jump in quick.
I didn't have time to. I didn't really have time to go through it in detail.
No, yeah, I mean, clearly that you still have a lot of looking to do. There's definitely some you have yet to uncover. So yeah, the last 3 that I'll hit on, then we'll touch on the ones we haven't hit with Walito. If you guys have any questions or props you want us to go over, drop them in the chat. Hit us with a like and a sub if you have yet to do so. One of the ones that I saw Walito mention was A-Rob, 55.5 receiving yards. I like that over as well. And it hurts me like deep in my heart, inside my soul, that we have A-Rob in a beautiful matchup and his over-under is only at 55.5. Like, and it like also hurts me that like I can't like smash this and just lay out how well A-Rob has been doing and how poor the Buccaneers defense is.
I know.
But I do like it. I do like A-Rob over 55.5. That'll be one of, if I throw anything on that, that'll be one of my lesser amount that I throw it on. But I think he had 53 last week. They're obviously going to have to throw in this matchup against the Bucs, and for as good as their front 7 is, their secondary is fucking dreadful. So hopefully A-Rob can start to build some momentum off of this game.
Yeah, their whole secondary is destroyed by injury. So, I mean, no Sherman for a little bit. He's getting beat up over in Twitter. Oh, my God. Savages. It's fantastic. I don't know if you saw that. I'm not going to even repeat it, but okay. Yeah, good to go. His next one, Mark Andrews, over 4.5 receptions. I dig it.
The last one, talking about building some momentum, getting on the right track. Your boy, Brandon Aiyuk, 29.5 in this matchup. I like it. I don't love it, but I feel like 30 yards is too low, and as bad as he's been, I think he's hit that in the games where Shanahan hasn't had him chained to the bench. So, no Kittle in this game, obviously, with Kittle being on IR. So I like Aiyuk over 29.5. I like Debo as well, but Aiyuk, I think he can. I really hope Aiyuk can give us 30 yards.
Yeah, put it this way. I might bet him because he plays Sunday night against the Colts. So it's one of those. If I did really good on the day, maybe I'll throw some money on Aiyuk. I can't do it anymore. It's gotten to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like the matchup, we're obviously not afraid of anything in the Colts secondary. Ruckusin is still out. Xavier Rhodes is beat up, and he's obviously 83 years old at this point. Like I said, no Kittle. Jimmy G back in the fold. Aiyuk can get 30 yards in this matchup, right?
Yeah, he should be able to. As long as if he gets the targets, he can do whatever. But they hate him. He's out there banging wives and stuff. So I don't know.
Must be. It's the only explanation.
That's all I got.
Yeah, Debo is at like 57.5 or 59.5. I can't remember which, but I like the over on that one as well. Walito also has Aaron Jones over 67.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, I'm going to look at his rushing plus receiving there. It's probably going to be high 80s, low 90s.
I don't hate it.
95 and a half total. I'm concerned. Oh, man, I'm concerned that they're ahead a lot in the third quarter, and then they use AJ Dillon because his number's at 55 and a half. That's my only concern there.
Wow.
No, that's total rushing and receiving.
Okay. But
41 and a half for his rushing. Still.
Yeah. It's still pretty high. Yeah, I don't feel one way or like it wouldn't surprise me if Jones smashes that, and also wouldn't surprise me if he was at like 63 either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, Walito cannot go a week without talking about DeAndre Swift. Over 42.5 rushing and 47.5 receiving. The only one I would take here is a receiving. I have only bet one DeAndre Swift rushing prop this year. I bet the under, and I won.
Yeah.
I think Swift has only hit this number twice this year as well for his rushing. His like I said, receiving. I'd much rather take his receiving here over the rushing.
Yeah, I would rather go with the receiving there as well. They're still playing against a stingy Rams defense there. So I don't know. I'm going to stay away from them this week just to be safe. I don't hate it. I'm not saying like, oh my God. Ugh. But
what about your boy JT? How do you feel about his? Because I saw this one too, and like I wasn't sure what to do with it. How do you feel about JT's rushing at 65.5?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to tell you the truth. But going back to Swift real quick, his combined yardage, the rushing and receiving, he has covered that 4 out of 6 weeks, and the rushing yards he has covered twice. So you were dead on there.
Yahtzee.
Yeah. So JT, the 49ers defense is pretty good against a run. So again, I'm going to go with combined yardage, which is 80. Where did that go? I just had it up. Well, Lito's making me look stuff up on the fly. He's making me work tonight. So now I got to go back to this. His combined number is 86.5. So give me that because he can hit the big screen. I will take the extra 20 yards just in case, just for the safety there. I think he can definitely hit that rushing number. The problem is if they get a big lead, or Frank Reich is like, who is that guy? And then
Hines week.
Right. So the problem is with JT, it's a scary thing in matchups like this, where if San Francisco gets a lead and Taylor has 3 fucking rushes in the first half, he might not get an opportunity for the 14 that they're going to give him in the second half.
Oh my God.
Asshole.
It was so frustrating to see that last week too.
I know. Like it's not difficult, man. He's
really
good he's really good at the footballing.
All right. Goddard over 3.5 receptions, obviously with Zach Ertz out of 10. How do you feel about Goddard there?
He's coming off the COVID bid. It looks like he's going to be healthy. Oh man, that's so fleeting for him. Like for him for the team in general, you don't know what they're going to wind up doing, which is what scares me.
The Raiders have been solid as well against. They have the linebackers to slow that down.
Yeah, they do. And Goddard has
never mind. They have allowed the second most receptions to
Oh.
Or wait.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah,
good. I'm glad you looked that up. Good job.
Yeah.
However,
Second most receptions to the tight ends, and 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth most yards.
well, maybe. Well, that would be nice for Dallas Goedert because he's had over 2 catches only twice so far, and that was 4 and 5. So, yeah, he's not crushing life like we would like him to do.
Maybe not with Ertz out of the picture because Ertz was like getting 2 to 4 every week
but
as well.
they run 12 personnel enough where you're going to see, the backup asshole tight end on the Eagles, who I can't even remember now. It's not Dick Rod. It was so great when it was Richard Rodgers because I could literally just scream Dick Rod in my house and it would be perfectly appropriate. And now I don't have that. So I forget who it is. They like him apparently, but Howie Roseman liked Jalen Reagor too. So go fuck yourself, Howie.
We have a trade question always. We have a trade question here from DJ Vick. Would you trade CD for Saquon? DJ Vick is sitting at 5-1. Running backs are Zeke and Najee. At wide receiver, Keenan, AJ Brown, Hollywood, Evans, and CD.
I think for CD Lamb, you should be able to get a running back who can actually play football. Not saying Saquon can't play football. However, right now, he literally can't play football. So I would go after a healthy running back because I think CD is about to pop off a little bit more. Another thing you can do is try and trade Mike Evans with that name value. Or you know what? Package 2 of these guys and then just go after an absolute monster. But, yeah, I'm probably not going after Saquon because Saquon just is a constant disappointment. They could have taken Quentin Nelson and had Nick Chubb, but they wanted to be douchebags. Gettleman.
Not they. Gettleman.
Daniel Jones!
So I'm at the Senior Bowl. 4 snaps. Sold.
Oh, Christ.
I mean,
what do you think? I'm not doing it. I'm a CD guy. I like Saquon, but at the same time, how many times is this going to happen where we stop expecting it to happen? Like, stop it. Get some help.
I mean, I think the fact that you're sitting at 5-1, I don't think you have to make this kind of move. Like, this is the kind of move I would make if I were like 2-3 and trying to
3 and 2, 2 and 3.
trying to shake it up and like just shoot for upside and like really go for it. But I mean, you already have Zeke and Najee. You're not thin at running back. Your receivers, obviously, your set of receivers. So I think I might sit pat, or like Tom was just saying, maybe after this week when Evans goes off, maybe you could send Evans and Hollywood or something for Saquon. Like if you really want to go out and get Saquon,
I go higher. Than
also,
Saquon there.
DJ, how many receivers do you start? Answer us that as well, and then we'll jump back to this because if you're starting 3, I'm definitely keeping CD. If you're starting 2, you know what I mean, that might open things up a little bit. Look at this. The boss,
Godfather.
The boss is shining, throwing his shiny pennies at us, giving us that $10 super hauler and asking us about DraftKings lineups.
Oh man.
Tom, how do you does it make your stomach hurt? Does it make you queasy to see Kevin say all the Jalen Hurts this week?
Well, I mean, it's clearly value because you get value out of the trash, like Forky, right? I mean, it's my second Forky reference of the night. 5400 Davante, running back Waller, 46. Edwards. I don't know, man. I don't know how you can feel safe with Jalen Hurts at this point. The Raiders definitely aren't Tampa, and Jalen was doing well before that, so that's fine with the number. Man. I would probably so the Eagles have been pretty shitty against tight ends, but that is bolstered by Dalton Schultz going ballistic.
They did well against Kelsey, right?
Yeah, so he went 4 for
Tyreek went off.
24, I think. Huh?
And Tyreek went off that game.
Yeah, Tyreek went absolutely fucking berserk that game. It was fantastic. That was the game where I was reverending, and that was the game I was watching. I was like, Tyreek, just go nasty, go freak nasty, get destroyed, Eagles. Hell yeah. So Waller, Waller 4,600. I would not. I do not have faith in Dallas Goedert this week because he's not safe. So I would probably go Waller there. Sure. Why
Waller's
not
been
disappointing.
As
Yeah,
well.
I just traded in my dynasty league. I just traded Darren Waller, a late first and Mecole to get Kelsey, and a second that's going to be a bottom 4 pick. But I have Kyle Pitts, so the age doesn't bother me at all. So I'm just, Kelsey and Tyreek in that lineup. Flex.
I like it. I would have had in the dynasty league that we were in that had Devi that folded. I would have had Kelsey and Pitts in that team had that league not folded. But anyway, before we get down that rabbit hole, how do you feel about this one from Walito? Of course, has to be Swift, has to be Cooks. He can't get away from them. Would you do over 5.5 receptions?
I'm probably not putting money on any Texans that game. However, if it's going to be one, it would probably be Cooks, and it would probably be his receptions. Put it that way. I mean, he's hit that number.
What are his yards sitting at?
His yards are currently at 69.5, and I don't love that. So I think the receptions are safer. He's covered
3 times.
3 times out of 3, yeah. So you're either going to get a really good game out of Brandon Cooks or shit. But the other two of the games that he didn't cover, he hit. Yeah, 2 of the games he didn't cover, he had 5. So he'll be right there. But they also haven't played a team this
with
good.
A corner like Byron Murphy.
Yeah, the closest that they've. Yeah, that's the closest they've come is Buffalo, and he had 5 catches that game.
Yeah. Hollywood longest catch over 23.5.
Sure,
I like
man.
This one. Yeah, I like this one. I like Hollywood's yards as well. They're only at like 53.5.
Always and forever.
Brady over 2.5 pass touchdowns.
What? Brady
over 2.5.
Sure.
Jameis over 1.5.
Seattle?
Yeah.
Probably. Kamara's rushing total is at 90.5.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
his receiving is only like 30 something, right?
Yeah, or 23.5, something like that. But I would love to go back. I can almost guarantee you that's the highest rushing total he's ever had. Because it's usually in the 70s or 60s, and his receiving totals in like the 40s.
Right.
So that would be my one pause to be like, well, I mean, I don't know. But still, 1.5 touchdowns is one of the safer bets that you're going to make for a quarterback touchdown thing, especially against Seattle, who's forky trash.
Question here from New Life. Do we think Hasty is going to cut into Elijah Mitchell's touches? Hasty will be back and will be active this week for the Niners.
Yeah, but when Mitchell's been healthy, he's gotten the lion's share of the load. So I would say he's not going to cut into it enough to start him. Hasty's not startable.
In true Shanahan fashion, Hasty's going to come out and be the one just completely dominating touches. I would like to say, not a lot. New Life, maybe Hasty takes over for Sermon as like the number 2 back potentially. But when Hasty got the opportunity, I don't think he was that impressive or productive, if I'm remembering correctly. Or maybe he had like one game where he flashed, maybe it ripped off a couple of big plays, but then whenever he had the ability to take over the lion's share, he didn't do well, I think, from last year. But either way, I would feel still okay with starting Mitchell this week, but Shanahan is Shanahan, so it's possible that Hasty just ends up being the guy. Brandon Williams needs to get rid of one of these aging, injured wide receivers. Are you getting rid of Julio or T.Y. Hilton? Okay, both?
Yeah, Ty probably.
Yeah, T.Y. probably, but T.Y. did not practice at all this week. Julio has the hammy, so I guess Julio, just because he can still do Julio things, but Julio by default, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry.
Need one of three things: either Kadarius Toney, Saints D, or Kirk Cousins. Want to drop one of them for that. Sanders, who I could not. No, you're not dropping Sanders.
No. I mean, if you're carrying two defenses, drop the Saints.
If you can drop the Saints D, drop the Saints D, or if you're carrying two quarterbacks and your other quarterback is definitely better than Kirk Cousins, I would go ahead and do that as well. I don't think you have to. I mean, you can hold on to both of those receivers, but I think you could drop some other guys, especially if you're carrying two defenses. I probably want to hold Saints D and drop the other one, I'm assuming. Half PPR, your boy Davante Smith or your boy Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle? Yeah.
I like Waddle in this matchup.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know his ADOT, but it's got to be like a -7 yards. Like, you're really doing a great job with the fastest dude to come out since Tyreek. Like, great job, guys. Screen.
2 yard slant.
I think Waddle is safer because you know he's going to get the targets. Devonta Smith is
tough.
tough.
It's 5, by the way.
5 what? His ADOT? I was going to jokingly say 7 because I'm pretty sure it was 7 2 weeks ago. And it went down to 5.
Yeah, ranks 99th. I mean, whenever you have a explosive deep threat, you just gotta throw.
Whenever I drive my Ferrari, I put it in reverse, bitches. The camera on that thing is so clear. Jalen Waddle is actually a little bit safer than Devonta. I think Devonta has a little bit more high upside because he could pop off. So depending on your projected, if you're favored to win, I would probably go Waddle because he still has upside. If you're favored,
I'd also be curious to see what.
Honestly, you know what? I talked myself into Jalen Waddle. I'm gonna go Jalen Waddle.
Let's go.
It's close.
Let's go. I like Waddle as well. Parker, Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers.
Not Parker. You're going to say Parker now, aren't you? That's awkward.
I kind of like Parker.
Just because the matchup?
Yeah, just because the matchup and Tua being back, I think that's a big boost for him. Like we've seen Parker be good in spurts. Like he's not the. I don't think we can be as dismissive of him as we were the first 4 years of his career. Like we
can. I just was. Watch this. Hold my beer.
The thing that would worry me with Jacoby is they get up in that game and they're just not throwing. You know what I mean? Like Jacoby isn't scoring touchdowns, much to Kev's chagrin. That has been Kev's boy. He's been he's been doing a prayer circle at church every Sunday morning, trying to get Jacoby Myers a touchdown, and hasn't worked. I think I like Parker's matchup better in a scenario where they should have to throw more as well. But I'd also be fine with Jacoby. Renfrow would be the last one, which clearly means that Renfrow is about to go for 10 and 80 in a score.
Why don't you pop one off, son?
Anthony Ort needs your boy CPAT or your boy Hollywood at the Fox.
You mother motherfucker, I'm going to drive to your house and punch you in the face. I can't choose between these. Not this week. You know what? I'm going to go Patterson here just because I know he's going to get the touches and the yards. Bateman, even though he barely played, still had a huge target share. What was it, 22% last week? So that may hurt Hollywood a little bit as far as the monster game that he might be able to have. Man, I'm going to go with Patterson. I think he's a safer option, and he could also, score 2 touchdowns there. I hate you, Anthony. How dare you, sir? What do you got? Come on, say it. Go the other way. Sure.
Nah. I'll go CPAT here. I think you keep playing him until his opportunities say not to.
Yeah.
Crowder or Boyd in a full PPR?
I will go Boyd. And
oh my God. This is
I
wish I could this is another one of those questions I wish I could laugh and just be like, idiot. Of
I know. I said it and then I'm like,
because the issue is T. Higgins is now back, which lowers the target ceiling for everybody in that offense. But after Crowder had, his coming out party coming off of the injury list in week 4, he only had 6 targets, 4 catches, and 24 yards last week. But now going up against New England, should be playing from behind. Could be another case where against Tennessee, sees 9 targets. Give me Crowder. I don't love it, but I don't love it.
Flip a coin. You'll make your life easier.
And then Ramondre Stevenson or Alex Collins full PPR. Is Collins playing?
If Alex Collins is playing, I'm going Alex Collins. But I don't know if he is.
Let's see.
They activated Penny, didn't they? Or just to practice?
So 2 DNPs for Alex Collins. Okay. Thursday and Friday. Obviously because of the Saturday. The Monday
Sunday night game. That's a tough one because you can't depend on him to actually play. Unless you hear something that he's going to play, then you can't depend on that.
And like you said, Carson being back, DJ Dallas looking pretty good as well. Wasn't Ramondre Stevenson banged up as well?
Yeah, you said Carson. You mean Penny? Carson's on IR.
Correct.
I couldn't let you go. Sorry.
Thank you. No, thank you for. I think we're just going to go Stevenson there just for.
Why doesn't my wife ever say thank you when I correct her?
I don't know. Yeah. Or you're right, or I'm sorry, or I love you. Anyway, DJ Vic.
I digress.
DJ Vic. Oh, okay. So this is so they start 3 flexes. See, I like this. I like leagues that give you the flexibility like that. Just 1 across the board and 3 flex.
Yeah. Then I'm keeping CD. And
5-1.
Good job.
I think with that team, you're fine. But I would just, something I always like to do, go look at your points for and your points against. Just make sure that you're not just skimming by and just getting lucky and playing teams that are not putting up points against you. But with that lineup, I'm sure you're completely fine. But yeah, I would rather keep CD, and if Evans pops off this week, maybe try and move him with somebody else, or maybe you don't even have to move him for somebody else if the Barkley owner is getting antsy. So, opinion on Sutton when Judy returns?
Judy is the man.
Yes. I think, Sutton has been playing well, but with Judy coming back, you're talking about an offense that, isn't exactly explosive. If that were an above average quarterback instead of Teddy Bridgewater, like I don't think we would like really care as much. But we look and we see it's Teddy Bridgewater and we go, well, oh shit. Look at what Bridgewater is doing, man. But like he's putting up good numbers, but like I think we're keeping it in context of being Teddy Bridgewater. So whenever Judy comes back, like Sutton's not going to be getting the double-digit target games that he's getting. So I think we have to take. We had Sutton ranked as a high-end wide receiver 2 this week. I think going forward, both of those guys are probably going to be low-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3s. Because you have Fant there as well. You have them, if you watch the Thursday game, tons of screens to both Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. So they're getting the running backs involved. So I think it's just going to be a situation where you're like hoping that your receivers are getting to like 7 targets a week.
Yeah, and Sutton last 3 weeks, 7 targets, 8 targets, 5 targets. I mean, it's not like he's out there dominating everything. So, Tom, anything? Oh, thanks. Thanks, buddy. Let's hear. Cody, why don't you read it for me?
Tom, any thoughts on how Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman are doing in their respective jobs? I'll hang up and listen. First time caller.
Ass.
Long time. Robbie, you must have missed it. We already had we already talked about Jalen Reagor. We already talked about Howie Roseman.
Worst receiver in the league.
You must have missed it. Tom, it's really funny. My sister-in-law's husband is a big Eagles fan. And, like, we were talking about it. And, like, he started bringing up Jalen Reagor. We could have had Jefferson. And I was like, it's really funny you say this because Anthony wants to know Dearness Johnson taking the Hunt role. I think
it's never Chubbs all day. It really isn't.
You should call a doctor if that's the case.
Right. Well,
and anything over 4 hours,
well done.
Call your doctor.
If you have to walk like this,
well, that's whenever you do the old sweatpant trick, and you flip it up. Hold
on. And Robbie missed the slide into the show.
Yes, Robbie, rewind and go all the way back. It was scary. I was afraid for everyone's life. But I do think Dearness Johnson is obviously going to be involved now. He played way too well to not be involved. With Chubb's injury history, kind of being banged up. Obviously, it has been several years. But going back to Georgia, like people weren't sure if he was going to be playing football again after the injury he had. So I think if they're smart and obviously if they continue to lose, there is absolutely no reason to just ride Chubb. Like,
also with Baker being hurt, even if he comes back to play, I expect their run pass ratio is going to go up. So there's room for that.
Yeah. So I think Dearness Johnson will be involved and he will have a role going forward, like especially considering that I took a future out on the Browns to win that division, and that ticket has already gone up in flames. Random question: favorite sports movie coming from Kev?
Back in the day,
does basketball count?
Yes, basketball is fantastic.
Okay. Back
in the day, Field of Dreams was like awesome. And then it was Major League.
Yes.
I really I love Invincible. Obviously, I can't say I don't love Invincible. It's just an awesome story. But a movie that I will always watch is Miracle. So that's a good one. 1980.
I know
it. Olympic hockey team.
I know the story. Yeah, I know what it's based on. I really don't watch a lot of movies.
No. Also, can we categorize Dodgeball and Caddyshack as sports movies? Because amazing.
Yeah.
And Rocky, I guess all the Rockies too, man. God damn it, Kev. That's a tough question. I have to do research for 18 hours and I'll get back to you.
Are you telling me Jesus Christ couldn't hit a curveball?
The Natural's another one I used to watch. So like going back, like when I was younger, I was big baseball. So it was all about baseball movies back in the day. And then, I guess the world started expanding and you got more football movies and basketball and golf. Tin Cup's another real good one. Does Forrest Gump count because he played football at Alabama? No.
Good question.
I'm going to go with Invincible.
Tune
what are
in
you going to
next
go with?
week.
Yeah. What are you going to go with? What's yours? Son of a bitch. Can't get out of this.
If basketball doesn't count, then I'm going to go Major League.
Okay. What?
A throwback, one of my mom's favorites back in the day, I think it was called Wildcat. There was a female head coach who like took over like a high school or a college team, and like it was like a comedy, and like of course like the players aren't respecting her, and then they start winning. You know what I mean? It's like, well,
Yeah.
I think it was called Wildcat. Like maybe like Goldie Fawn. Is that a Goldie Hawn?
Maybe that's a person. Yeah. Oh, and
yes,
two other ones.
It is.
Like
Goldie Hawn, Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes are all in that one.
Oh, geez.
It's good. It's good.
Two other ones that are awesome in like the fighting realm. Warrior. Have you ever seen Warrior? That's awesome. Tom Hardy's in that.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's a good one. And then The Fighter, which you've had to see. Tell me you saw that. Christian Bale's in it. Mark Wahlberg. Bruh. That's like next level award-winning movie stuff.
Told you I don't watch movies.
All right. Well, I mean, you live in North Carolina now. What are you doing with yourself? Plowing a field? And yes, Any Given Sunday and Varsity Blues are awesome.
Yeah, Coach Carter, good call as well from Brandon. Moneyball. Remember the Titans.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Back to your regularly scheduled program. King KG needs two of these guys. AJ Green, Devontae Parker, Callaway. I'm going to sit AJ Green. I'm going to go Parker and Callaway.
Of course you are. I think I'm going to go Callaway and AJ Green.
Of course you are. I just don't know if they're like, AJ Green, as well as he's been performing.
I get it.
Hasn't had more than 6 targets. We think this is going to be a D-Hop, go fuck yourself kind of game.
I think it's going to be a 2 wide receivers doing very well this game. And it might be Rondale because he takes an 80-yard fucking shuffle pass. Jesus Christ, words. An 80-yard shuffle pass.
Like one of these.
Shimmy.
Okay,
Sure.
Landry returned to the game. Okay, never mind. Keep Jarvis Landry. Sure.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, probably. Depending on the size of your league, might be some higher upside options, especially with how this offense has been performing. But it would all depend on who's available. Like I think you can. Like I don't think he's like absolutely droppable. Robbie wants to know for Thrive Fantasy, which again, if you have yet to play and you're rocking with us, you obviously like props. ThriveFantasy.com or in your app store. It's DFS, it's DraftKings, FanDuel, but only with player props. So instead of dealing with like salaries and trying to build your lineup that way, they have a couple different contests, but the main ones are you have a lineup of 20 props, you pick 10 over-unders on those props, and that's how you build your lineup. The more likely something is to happen, the less amount of points you get, and then vice versa. So check out Thrive. Robbie has a question for Thrive. Terry McLaurin over under 68.5.
Well,
McLaurin got in a full practice today. So he was DNP on Wednesday, limited yesterday, and a full practice today.
And we still have
and
we still have no Alexander for
Correct.
Green Bay. So I'm going over all day.
Going over, and then Aaron Jones 66.5. Walito brought up, what was his number? That Walito 67.
It was right around there.
It was
68.5, 65.5. It was close enough where we are both not sure. So I would probably stay away.
Much rather have TMC on this one. Robbie, you can always check out the Thrive show that will be dropping tomorrow morning, and we talk about some of these props that we would take.
Right.
So
or
keep,
you could text message me.
or you could do both. You could watch the show and you can message us. Matt has a dynasty question. Look at Matt coming back twice this week. Let's go, Matt. Sutton, late second, Jacoby Myers, or Kadarius Toney, 2 firsts and a third.
Give me the firsts all day, man. The 2023 first.
Even with one of those firsts being in 2023?
The 2023 first is, I think it's more valuable than 2022. You got to get in the weeds, man. That 2023 running back class is stupid good.
That's where Bijan's going to be coming out, correct?
Yep. Ooh, it's so good. I can't. Oh.
I just don't want to pick this because Kadarius Toney is...
Pick it, man. Yo, Lobster Hands knows how to catch with stubs. It doesn't even matter, son. He just apparently, when he gets like on land, he has trouble like running and not hurting an ankle. 6 plays, 3 for 36. You couldn't just go ahead and get 20 more yards for my over/under. Prick. Come on, man. This is easy.
Yeah, give me the first. Give me the first. Matt took his dad to see Longest Yard when he was 12, and his dad was terrified at what Matt was watching.
That's great.
Going back to King KG, then we will wrap this up and get out of here on this one. Then we have one from Tam as well. Would you put in Ertz for Callaway?
No, keep Callaway in right now. That matchup's juicy. And we have no idea what kind of usage we're going to get out of Ertz. It's not like they use the tight end a whole lot.
Tam needs 2 of these: Debo, A-Rob, A.J. Brown, Brandon Cooks. This is going to be Debo and A.J. Brown for me.
It's definitely Debo. And it's A.J. Brown. I was trying to figure out if I could say Brandon Cooks, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you can't. Fuck off, Walito. That's for you. All right, guys. We appreciate it. A live start sit show on Sunday morning. Tom might be there. Me and Robbie definitely will. I didn't realize Brandon was an Eagles guy.
Listen, Brandon, I've lived it, man. I went to the parade, got myself a nice little Super Bowl ring because whatever. I can make the fucking jokes. It hurts. I'm in pain. That's how I deal with it. I go to a funeral and I'm the awkward guy making jokes. Okay, man, look how stiff he is. I'm that guy.
My God.
I know. Yes, Walito, right. I might be available on Sunday morning. I'm trying to see what I can work. Finagle without getting murdered.
Here's one. I answered Ian earlier. He has a couple of solid receiver choices. Would you send Allen for Chase?
Yeah, I would. I don't know. Like, are there 3 wide receivers right now playing better than Jamar Chase? 3. Are there 3? Davante Adams, Tyreek. Who else?
It's a fair question.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Look at that. Muted himself and all. We can't reach a higher apex than that. That was professionalism at its finest. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to jump in the Discord. We do have some TFA merch now as well. So if you pull up the video description underneath here, you'll see all that stuff. If you want to get that TFA logo across your chest, and Thrive. Check out Thrive as well. Like I said, we'll be live on Sunday to answer any more questions, or you can jump in the Discord. We'll answer your questions over there. Good luck. Good call.
I said, are 3 playing better? So
yeah,
that's 3.
Yeah, Walito. So else? Fuck off with your metric system up
fucking
there in
Canadian
Canada.
Math.
Learn how to count. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great week 7.